Hello everyone, this is Professor Hill. This is a short video for our class Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 here at St. Philip's College. This is the fall 2018 semester. This is the online version of the class, and it's Thursday the 25th of October. Oh my, so getting close to Halloween now. Hey, and speaking of which, just want everybody to know that next Tuesday, the 30th, on campus in the Watson Fine Arts Center, they have something called the Morgan Galleries there. Professor Fuller, who teaches philosophy here at St. Philip's, is going to give a kind of a Halloween presentation on the history of vampire lore. He did this a year ago, and I saw it, and it was fabulous. So I would highly recommend it. It's at 12 noon, Tuesday the 30th, here on campus at St. Philip's. If you can make it, please try to come. It is crazy. It's a great Halloween thing. And it's just really interesting. I had no idea what to expect last year, and I was really blown away by it. So you'll enjoy it. Professor Matthew Fuller here Tuesday the 30th, St. Philip's Morgan Galleries in the Watson Fine Arts Center. Anyway, vampires. Okay. Well, look, like I said, today is Thursday the 25th, and we're reading Chapter 7 in our textbook, Doing Ethics by Louis Vaughan. And we're looking at our case study about the sailor, the young boy, Calvin Graham, who joined the Navy at 12 years, 4 months, and 12 days during the Second World War, and was a hardened combat veteran, injured, serving bravely in the line at sea on a Navy ship when they were attacked. And he just showed extraordinary composure and valor under fire, helped other sailors. Like I said, he was injured, got the Purple Heart. But it's a fascinating kind of ethical study about both what happens to him, which is when he's discovered, he's drummed out of the military and given a dishonorable discharge, stripped of his medals for, lying and defrauding and getting in there in the first place. But lots of people were saying, well, but look at the consequences of the outcomes, especially if you're one of those people who was, saved by him, that your perspective might be a little different. And ultimately, over time, people reconsidered it, gave him back an honorable discharge, gave him back a pension, restored all of his medals. It's a fascinating story, which raises lots of issues. And it makes the point that a lot of times there's difficult decisions to be made. They have mixed results on the outside. So this is an interesting and difficult case. I recommend it. So read the chapter, start applying this to the case study, write your 500-word essay for the contribution. And make sure to incorporate some of the lessons and concepts from the chapter. I want to just talk about two briefly today. The first is this concept of eudaimonia, the sense more than just happiness. You see this kind of translated sometimes loosely as happiness, but it's really more, think of it this way, more of as a human flourishing. When all aspects of who you are as a person, physical, psychological, emotional, we have all these different components to us. When you're really hitting on all cylinders and everything's going right and you really feel good and you're healthy and you're productive and you're making things happen in the world and you're feeling good, that starts to get more along the lines of you fulfilling every aspect of your human nature. And that gets into this concept of eudaimonia. I'll post an old video that I made before talking about this concept, and you can I made it for our class a year or two ago, and I'll put that on the playlist as well, just so you can see it. But the point being that it's along the lines of happiness, but that's a start. It really gets into more of this really flourishing and developing multiple aspects of who you are as a well-rounded whole person. Again, the chapter does a good job of describing it, and I think that he gets that one just right. The other thing is this concept about the golden mean. And there, we're talking about trying to find a middle way between behavioral extremes And just to give an example, which kind of demonstrates this, an old classic example is just the person who's drowning in the sea. If you're walking down the beach and you see somebody who's in the water and they're thrashing around, they're asking for help, the question is, what do you do? How do you respond? What's the right thing to do in this situation? Now, Aristotle, when he's talking about this, would say that he wants you to not, first of all, act immediately and rashly, without giving it proper thought, just, dive into the water. And it turns out if you did that, which might be some people's first impulse, you might want to first have stopped and called 911 so that by the time you got out there and pulled them back, there could be somebody waiting. You might want to have looked around for a flotation device to take with you on the way out there. That might help you get them back to shore. You might want to kick your boots off first before you jump in the water because it's harder to swim when they fill up with water. I mean, the point is you can act too quickly and too rashly and overlook some things which might have been helpful to do if you would just take a moment, take a beat to think, and then act. Now, the other end of that scale, though, also is problematic. If you don't do anything, if you just stroll on by, say, that's not my problem. If you decide, well, look, maybe I should do something, but I'm scared and I don't want to do anything, so you just stand there and stare. That inaction is just as bad. It represents the other end of these behavioral extremes from acting rashly and too quickly. So what you want to do is kind of where I was going before, which is think about it for a minute. Stop, think, look around. Should you make a phone call? Should you grab something to take with you? Could you get help? If you just jumped in because you're like, oh my God, I got to act right away, and you ran past a canoe or something, it would underscore the point that, hey, you know what? Maybe you should stop and think, even if you need to do that quickly and immediately because it's an emergency situation. That gets at this concept of the golden mean and of kind of acting and choosing the right course of action, choosing the thing that's the best alternative, choosing the good over the bad sometimes lies between these behavioral extremes. That's what he's trying to get at here. Now, that's two of the concepts that are developed in Chapter 7. I'll talk about another one tomorrow as we move towards our upcoming deadline for the case study. So keep an eye on that. Finish reading the chapter. If you've got questions, let me know. I've been trying to respond to people individually. If they've got questions or concerns about concepts in the chapter, about the case study, about deadlines, anything at all, just let me know. But in the meantime, I did just want to say that some people have gone back and made up some work that they missed before. Completely and always acceptable to do that. I want you to finish assignments. If you didn't get them and you skipped over them, go back to them and finish them. They'll be marked down for being late, but that is much, much better than just having a big fat zero there. So don't do that. So let me know if for whatever reason you got your midterm, you didn't like it, you want to know if there's some way to improve your grade. There almost always is. So let me know that and we'll help you out. So again, contact me if I can be of any help. Other than that, we'll see you again tomorrow. So take care.